guys, welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Brianna, and today we're going to be talking about feeling like you have to have it all together. Now, if you are feeling like you have to have it all together, I am here to let you know right now that you do not have to have it all together. I am here right now telling you this right now. You do not have to have everything all together, okay? This is something that I like to call perfectionism. Perfectionism is when you feel like you literally cannot do anything wrong. If you make any mistake, you know, all HE double hockey sticks breaks loose, and you just hold yourself to very high, unobtainable expectations. And I'm here to tell you that you do not need to be perfect. What even is perfect? Do you know, like, can you really tell me what is perfect? Like, no one on this earth is perfect. Nothing is perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Perfect does not exist. So if you are someone who is striving to be perfect, I'm gonna tell you right now that it doesn't exist, okay? Now, the one thing that you can make sure that you do every day is your best. You can make the best effort to show up as your best self and to try your best every single day. That will get you farther than trying to be perfect and trying to live up to these standards that are unobtainable, or these high expectations placed on yourself, whether it be you placing them on yourself or whether it be parents or some other authority figure placing these high expectations on yourself. Let them go. Don't even worry about it. As long as you are showing up as your best self and trying to be your best and doing your best every day, and you know, giving it all you can give that day, then you are doing a good job. I'm clapping for you. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to have it all together, because every time you reach one goal or one milestone, that's good enough. That's all the reason to praise yourself. That's all the reason to congratulate yourself. Actually sit in that glory. Actually sit in that success, and you know, be happy for yourself. Don't hit one goal and one milestone and then be like, oh, on to the next. Like, oh, okay, on to the next. What's the next goal? What's the next milestone? What's next? Like, it's okay to chill. It's okay to just bask in your success of reaching a goal that you set for yourself. It is okay. Now, obviously, don't sit still too long, but the goal is to really acknowledge the great things that you've done in your life and to not put so much pressure on yourself to be perfect, because you know, like I already said, there's no such thing as perfect. There's just no such thing as perfect, like, you know, and there's always going to be room for improvement. There's always going to be room for growth. So don't beat yourself up because you are not living up to these unreasonable expectations that are in your head or that you feel like someone else has placed on you. Do not beat yourself up. There's always going to be an area for growth. There's always going to be something you need to work on. There's always going to be, you know, after you hit one milestone, it's like, okay, you know, okay, what do I do now? Where do I go? And there's always going to be something new to learn. Like, you can never know everything. You can never, you know, there's always something to learn. So don't put that much pressure on yourself. Don't put that much stress on yourself. Like, it's really not worth it. And you know, this really brings me to a story that I can tell about myself. Well, it's not necessarily a story, but it's just like, you know, when I was in law school, I really adhered to this notion that I had to have everything together. I had to be perfect. I had to get the perfect grades. I had to, you know, join all these extracurriculars, and I just had to be that perfect model law student. And I'm here to tell you that that student doesn't exist. Like, you may feel like it, you know, if you're a law student, which whatever, you can apply this to your, you know, career, or maybe you're in a sport or whatever. It may feel like it's that one perfect student, like, you know, that one person that's just perfect, and you're like, get mad because you're like, just like, why can't I do that, or why can't I? And it's just like, first of all, stop. Don't compare yourself to other people. That's what we're not gonna do. But for me, when I was in law school, I just had these really high expectations of myself. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to have great grades. I wanted to be in all the notable extracurriculars. I wanted to, you know, do notable things and be, you know, recognized for my achievements and involvements and things like that. And it's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful. There's nothing wrong with wanting to, you know, perform well. There's nothing wrong with that. You should always set high. You should set high standards and expectations for yourself. But where it goes wrong is where you don't leave room for yourself for mistakes. When you don't leave room for error, that's when it becomes a problem. And for me, when I wouldn't understand certain concepts, when I wouldn't get the grades that I wanted, when I, you know, went after something and I didn't get it, that was really like a hit to my confidence and to my self-worth and to my self-value, because I, you know, took pride in being this successful model law student. You know, I took pride in those things. So when I didn't achieve something, or I didn't get something, or I wasn't, you know, I didn't get accepted into some group, or I didn't, you know, I took a hit to my ego. I took a hit to my confidence. I took a hit to my overall self-worth and self-value. And it's because in my mind, like, I had to be perfect. I had to be this perfect person. So if I didn't, you know, make that team, let's say I'm trying to make a team. If I didn't make that team or whatever, it's like, and when I say team, I mean like moot court, my child, whatever. So even though I was on the moot court team, but let's just say, you know, if I didn't win that competition, I literally feel like, fill in the blank, I literally just feel so terrible about myself, and I would just be down on myself. Like, if I get a bad grade, now I'm feeling terrible about myself. And it's just like the reason why it would take me like a long time to get over my losses. And the reason why is because I set so many high expectations for myself. I felt like I couldn't fail. I felt like I could not lose. Like, I had to. But the thing is, like, I felt like if I were to fail or to lose, that I wasn't really good enough, and I felt like I wasn't worth, you know, I didn't feel worthy. It's like, if I didn't win, if I wasn't the best, if I, you know, I didn't really feel worthy. It's like, that's when my self-worth and my self-value would go down, and I would lose confidence. And it's not good to be like that. It's not healthy to be like that. You're not perfect. You're not the best at everything. Like, everyone has their skills. Everyone has things that they're better at than other people. And you know, that's why it's kind of important to know yourself and to know your strengths and know your weaknesses, and really play up to your strengths and play up to your weaknesses. And you know, that might be another video that I will talk about, but it's really good, because you know, you'll know the things that, okay, I need to put a little bit more effort into this, or I need to ask for help. Like, as much as I'm trying to get this on my own, for some reason it's just not clicking, I'm not getting it, let me go ask for help type thing. And those were the type of things that I actually, you know, I really have pride in myself on being intelligent, on being smart. So me asking for help was just like, ugh. Like I didn't want to ask for help, because then that meant that, you know, I wasn't this smart person and that I wasn't as smart as, you know, what I thought I was. But actually asking for help is one of the smartest things you can do. Like you don't know everything, and that's just what it is. You don't know everything. You're not, you know, you're not gonna know everything. You're not gonna be the best at anything. Let's say you're, you know, an expert in, I don't know, baseball cards. It's like a random example. You're not gonna know every single baseball card. You're not gonna know like every single detail. Like that's just an example. Like there's gonna be someone out there who maybe has been studying it longer than you, who's experienced it before, that can just easily tell you, okay, X, Y, and Z. You need to do X, Y, and Z, or blah, blah, blah. So that's just like a tidbit of advice, me thinking about my law school experience. But saying all that to say is that, you know, don't feel the need to have to adhere to unreasonable standards and high unobtainable expectations. Like I said, you do want to set high expectations for yourself, because the higher you aim, the higher you're gonna go. Even if you don't hit that milestone that you set for yourself, you know, you set your milestone or your goal right here, and maybe you only reach right here, and it's like, that's okay, because if you would have set it down here, you would have only reached, you could have only got up to here. So it's like, you do want to set your aims high, but like don't devalue or belittle yourself if you don't reach a certain goal, if you don't get that certain grade, or if you don't, you know, reach a certain milestone. Like it is okay. That doesn't mean that you're not worthy as a person. That doesn't mean that you need to go talk down to yourself or belittle yourself, or you need to just start comparing yourself to others and wondering why I'm not like this person or like that person. Why can't this come easy to me? Da 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 da. Like don't do that. It's not mentally healthy. It's not good for you. You do not have to be perfect. All you have to do is be yourself and put your best foot forward every day and try your best every day, and that's good enough. If you know that you tried your best every day under those circumstances and under, you know, your situation, then that's the best you can do, and leave it at that. Now another thing is that when I was in law school, when I would set these high expectations for myself, it's almost like sometimes it would make me perform worse, because in my mind I literally felt like I had to reach this level that was so high that like subconsciously it felt impossible, and therefore like it just put so much pressure on myself that even like when I would attempt to do something, I would be like subconsciously I'll be like, I can't do this. Like there's just no way, because I had placed like so much weight on this one thing that I was like even scared to attempt it, or even scared, didn't even know where to start. It's like when you're about to start, you know, it's like when you're about to run for a marathon or whatever. Like you don't start preparing for that marathon by running the whole marathon the first day you start preparing. Like no, you start off by, you know, maybe doing half a mile, then the next day you do a mile, then the next day you'll do a mile and a half or something like that, or you know, maybe the next week you'll go up to a mile and a half, things like that. You know, you gradually increase. What it would be like for me, I would really just think about the big picture, and I would just think about like what I want to attain, and then I would literally get scared and be like, oh my gosh, like I can't do that, like me, like, and then like subconsciously, because I'm putting so much pressure and so much weight to achieve this one thing or to reach this one goal, subconsciously like I would kind of like self-sabotage, because I'm just like, I'm not good enough to reach that. Like this is kind of like subconscious. Like I wouldn't necessarily say that out loud, but I would, like, as I would start something, I would be like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna do this? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like even when you write a paper, like when your first draft is never like the draft you turn in, right? Like you start it, type it, and then you go back and you edit it and you change stuff and you add things, you take away things. So it's kind of just like that. Like I would be thinking about the final draft when like this is just a rough draft. Slow down. The best thing you can do is really just set realistic goals for yourself and strive to reach those goals, and give yourself grace in the process. Give yourself grace. Yes, set some goals for yourself. You should make your goals high. You should definitely, I think you should have high standards. It's just a matter of not making them so high that you scare yourself and you put pressure on yourself, unnecessary pressure on yourself. That's one thing that I would say for myself. I really didn't give myself a lot of grace in law school. Like, I really just wanted to be like this. Like I said, I wanted to be this perfect law student, and by no means was I a perfect law student, but it's like, that's what I strive to do, because I'm like, okay, I'm here. Well, since I'm here, I'm just gonna give it my all and try to really be my best. But it's just like, you know, you really have to understand that when you strive for perfection, you're striving for something that isn't even real, and you're taking a hit to your mental health. Like, you have to make sure that you're not taking a hit to your mental health, and that you're giving yourself grace. So all in all, don't feel like you have to have it all together, because you don't. Try your best every day. Show up as the best version of yourself. Put in effort. Strive to reach your goals. But make sure that you give yourself grace. My name is Brianna, and thank you so much for tuning in. Comment below if you agreed with anything that I said, or if you want to share your 2 cents on the topic, or if you've ever went through a period where you struggled with perfectionism and you struggled with pressure from society, from a parent, or from a peer. Thanks so much for watching.